From Dinar Shift, the financial landscape of the Middle East is on the brink of a monumental transformation, one that has been decades in the making. A single document, published in the authoritative November 2025 edition of the Iraqi Gazette, has confirmed a government-ratified currency reform decree that is shaking the foundations of global economic analysis. This is not a mere policy adjustment, but a strategic and sweeping move that financial commentators worldwide are now referring to as the dawn of the new dinar era. It represents Iraq's most robust and legally binding commitment yet to redefine its monetary sovereignty and its standing within the international financial community. The extraordinary nature of the Gazette's release lies in the intricate details of the policies it outlines, fusing conventional banking methodology with cutting-edge digital and security measures. The framework integrates elements like digital currency interfacing, stringent biometric compliance, the use of resource-backed guarantees, and carefully structured phased redemption protocols. For the first time, Iraq has laid out a clear, comprehensive, and state-sanctioned plan intended to address and rectify the long-standing inconsistencies between domestic and international valuations of the dinar, promising a unified, synchronized economic model. This is the definitive answer to years of conjecture. For decades, the discourse surrounding the Iraqi dinar E-IQD was relegated to the volatile space between unsubstantiated rumors and the cautious skepticism of established financial institutions. Conversations about a potential revaluation or activation were confined to niche investment forums and specialized geopolitical analysis. The November 2025 decree from the Iraqi Gazette fundamentally changes that narrative. It has entirely swept away the ambiguity that has defined the currency's status since the early 2000s, replacing speculation with a firm, codified state framework. This official publication is more than just a leak or an informal hint. It is a legally endorsed outline detailing the entire exchange architecture, the underlying valuation mechanisms, and the crucial pathway for the dinar's full re-entry into the global financial system. The ramifications of this clarity are being felt globally. International observers, particularly those holding the E-IQD, as well as select currency instruments from Vietnam, VND, and Zimbabwe, have interpreted this decree as the clearest and most actionable signal that Iraq is now prepared to execute a massive, coordinated foreign exchange activation cycle. The long-debated question of if Iraq would modernize its currency has now been unequivocally resolved, focusing attention on a far more immediate concern: the operational readiness of all participants. The November 2025 edition of the Iraqi Gazette is rightly being viewed as a national declaration of financial autonomy. It explicitly confirms the dismantling of Iraq's historically problematic dual-rate system, a fundamental objective of the reform. The system saw the official Central Bank of Iraq CBI rate diverging sharply from parallel market exchange rates, creating a fragmented and often exploited valuation environment. The new framework mandates a convergence of domestic and international exchange rates through a single, transparent pricing mechanism, which is a critical step toward establishing market confidence and stability. A further core objective confirmed in the document is the preparation for cross-border liquidity and the return to genuine foreign exchange parity models. This is an ambitious move, signifying Iraq's intent to link its currency's value to verifiable economic metrics, including resource-backed assessments. For the first time in over 20 years, since the geopolitical shifts of the early 2000s, the government is signaling its readiness to anchor the dinar's valuation to real, tangible assets, moving away from historical reliance on external financial pressures. This is a policy of substance, moving past mere possibility. The most ambitious element of this declaration is the restoration of international parity, which the Gazette elevates from an aspiration to a concrete policy goal. The decree outlines the precise steps required to reintroduce the dinar to global markets via a digital interface. This new digital backbone is designed to integrate seamlessly with regional settlement platforms and adhere to the rigorous reporting structures established by institutions like the International Monetary Fund (IMF). The level of detail provided is unprecedented, moving beyond vague allusions to future reforms and offering granular instructions on exchange protocols, verification procedures, and jurisdictional roles. One of the most intensely scrutinized sections of the Gazette's text is the architecture for the tier-based redemption system. This structured process is presented by Baghdad as a necessary mechanism to maximize overall economic stability during the transition while simultaneously ensuring that participation in the exchange is fair and equitable for all verified holders. This tiered approach governs the timeline and access to the new system, prioritizing different categories of participants to control the liquidity release and mitigate inflationary risk. The redemption tiers begin with Tier 1, which is exclusively reserved for Iraqi citizens. This prioritization reflects a clear political and economic commitment by the government to anchor the nation's financial reconstruction from within. Iraqi nationals are granted the earliest window for redemption appointments and rate selection, ensuring domestic stability and national economic control before the global system is fully engaged. This domestic-first strategy is central to the entire reform initiative. Following Iraqi citizens is Tier 2, encompassing expatriates and Iraqis living abroad, along with certain residents from the Gulf Cooperation Council (GCC) nations. The appointments for this category are slated to be managed through established embassy centers and a network of internationally partnered banks, leveraging diplomatic and established financial channels to process a large but manageable subset of global holders. The establishment of this dedicated pathway underscores the logistical complexity of the transition. Tier 3, known as the global currency holders, is designated for foreign nationals who possess the dinar, primarily in jurisdictions such as the United States, Canada, Australia, and parts of Europe. Significantly, the Gazette for the first time formally acknowledges the existence of these foreign holdings, outlining a clear, government-supported pathway for their processing. This official recognition ends years of uncertainty for international dinar holders and provides a crucial framework for their participation in the new system. A fourth category, often referred to in private financial circles as Tier 4 billions, covers vetted non-institutional participants. This speculative tier reportedly includes individuals who can provide rigorous documentation of their E-IQD acquisition through recognized and compliant purchasing channels. While the term contract rates is not used in the decree, the framework strongly implies adjusted valuations for certified participants likely tied to restricted appointment windows, providing an incentive for compliant and transparent acquisition history to address long-standing concerns regarding counterfeiting, fraudulent transactions, and identity theft. The global standard of biometric verification is explicitly mandated for all exchanges. The Gazette requires a multi-layered security protocol, including serial number authentication facilitated by blockchain-based registries, advanced facial mapping, and multi-factor identity confirmation at designated, government-approved financial institutions. This is a powerful signal of Iraq's commitment to security and digital compliance. The implementation of biometrics transcends a simple security upgrade. It signals Iraq's complete alignment with the secure digital compliance frameworks now being tested across various global economic blocs, including the BRICS Plus alliance and several Gulf nations. For holders in the United States, this verification process is reportedly set to be conducted at participating banks or designated redemption centers. While the Gazette allows each participating nation to implement its own security layers, the core biometric mandate is non-negotiable, marking the dinar's transformation into a digitally anchored, globally verified financial instrument. One of the most anticipated and impactful elements of the decree is the detailed plan for the phased retirement of Iraq's large denomination notes, often colloquially referred to as the infamous 30 notes, referring to the 3 zeros on the largest note values. The Gazette's language assures a multi-year exchange allowance, providing a structured and gradual withdrawal timeline designed to prevent domestic panic, alongside guaranteed compensation for all valid notes. This predictable approach is a key strategy for maintaining internal price stability. Crucially, the decree specifies that holders who can provide documented purchase histories through recognized, official dealers will receive priority verification. This is a deliberate design feature intended to reward compliance and actively discourage any lingering black market acquisition activity, reinforcing the state's focus on transparency and legality. This phased and predictable retirement of the large notes signals Iraq's strategic transition toward a leaner, internationally compatible currency structure. The global financial sector instantly reacted to the Gazette's reference to cooperative foreign jurisdictions responsible for facilitating the exchanges. Within hours of the news, institutional analysts in major financial hubs like New York, Chicago, and Singapore began circulating reports suggesting that major U.S. and international banks were already preparing their internal systems. This preparation involves integrating the CBI's verification protocols into their digital note scanners and updating their Know Your Customer (KYC) systems to align with the new foreign currency settlement modules. Major institutions, including speculative scenarios involving Wells Fargo, JP Morgan Chase, and HSBC, are rumored to be implementing these technological overhauls. This includes assigning digital keys to compliance departments and opening secure ports for encrypted foreign currency data streams. Though the Gazette refrains from naming specific banks, its clear reference to foreign institutional coordination has fueled widespread anticipation and has been interpreted as a soft confirmation of the participation of global finance leaders, Under this speculative, structured architecture, U.S.-based holders are expected to fall into specific appointment windows, which are potentially linked to their tax and compliance timelines. The possibility of additional verification, including background checks and enhanced due diligence, is anticipated for those seeking access to any implied elevated rate options. This highlights the regulatory complexity of exchanging a foreign asset under U.S. jurisdiction. The Gazette's publication has also triggered warnings from tax specialists to international investors regarding the complex legal, tax, and compliance considerations associated with exchanging foreign assets. Potential areas of concern include the requirements for foreign bank and financial accounts (FBAR) reporting for foreign-derived profit, the complex implications for trusts and estates, and the classification of the proceeds as capital gains. It is widely speculated that the IRS may establish a dedicated foreign currency reporting category to manage the expected high volume of large-scale filings during the structured exchange cycle. For holders lacking essential documentation, such as original receipts, invoices, or verifiable proof of origin, the consequences could include significant delays or reduced eligibility for the elevated tiers. The Gazette's message is clear: meticulous, organized preparation is the essential requirement for successful participation. This framework prioritizes the most compliant participants, ensuring the integrity of the process. While Iraq's decree holds center stage, its ripple effects are already extending across the globe, bringing two other nations into the spotlight: Vietnam and Zimbabwe. Vietnam's central bank VND has reportedly adopted policies mirroring Iraq's pre-announcement sequence, including the accumulation of gold reserves, enhanced trade agreements with BRICS-aligned zones, and currency stability measures to support its export dominance. Speculative analysis suggests Vietnam may pursue an adjusted international rate following Iraq's activation cycle. Simultaneously, Zimbabwe's introduction of the gold-backed ZiG system has ignited theories that legacy Zimbabwean instruments, particularly the iconic 100 trillion notes, might become eligible for redemption under asset-backed clauses within African monetary treaties. This concurrent movement across three key currencies, E-IQD, VND, and ZWL, has caused a dramatic spike in global search queries. Analysts believe these parallel movements signal an emerging alignment between resource-backed currencies and advanced digital verification frameworks, collectively ushering in what many are calling the new multipolar currency era. The transformation is no longer a rumor, it is a global phenomenon. The Gazette's release did more than just outline a new policy, it initiated a worldwide countdown. Embedded within the legal decree are references to an operational schedule that financial theorists have labeled the activation timeline, a meticulously sequenced series of events designed to transition the dinar from its dormant state to full globally functional status. Though exact times are not publicly released, cross-referenced CBI directives and foreign coordination memos suggest a methodical step-by-step rollout. The timeline suggests a massive systems integration day, where major banks across the United States, Europe, and the Gulf reportedly synchronize their digital verification platforms with the CBI's updated biometric and serial authentication system. This overhaul involves a sweeping upgrade of internal banking architecture, including the calibration of new scanning devices for E-IQD polymer notes and the assignment of secure digital keys to compliance departments. During this time, a handful of non-public Forex platforms allegedly upload rate placeholders, igniting intense, albeit internal, speculation about the final valuation range. Following this integration, vetted holders reportedly began receiving encrypted appointment notifications, providing secure portals for them to select 3-day windows for in-person verification. These values remain deliberately invisible to retail traders, but for those monitoring dark pool liquidity movements, the pattern signals a major financial realignment on the horizon. This period is a tightly controlled prelude to the activation of the redemption centers. The activation of redemption centers, which could range from large bank branches to repurposed government buildings, is expected in waves. These facilities will be staffed with compliance officers, auditors, and foreign currency examiners, operating with intense precision and control. This stage aligns with the Gazette's reference to restricted rate access windows, which analysts interpret as time-bound opportunities for adjusted valuations linked to the structured, multi-step appointment process, biometric scan, ID verification, rate eligibility assessment, and serial number authentication. The entire process is reportedly under the watchful eye of the International Monetary Fund (IMF), which is dispatching auditors to verify that Iraq's foreign exchange activation aligns perfectly with established global standards. This high-level audit is designed to ensure anti-money laundering compliance, confirm reserve adequacy, and verify the physical asset backing of the currency, solidifying global trust in the new financial instrument. Behind the scenes, the public rollout is the culmination of a highly complex web of negotiations involving the Gulf Cooperation Council, Western regulatory bodies, private banking alliances, and commodity reserve auditors. The backbone of Iraq's new valuation strategy is its resource equation, anchored by growing gold reserves, reportedly exceeding 130 tons in speculative narratives, combined with long-term petroleum contracts. This hybrid asset structure uses gold to stabilize the baseline value and oil to ensure ongoing international demand. Economists are classifying this new structure as resource-backed digital sovereignty (RBD-S), a model specifically designed to grant Iraq leverage in an emerging multipolar currency landscape. The Gazette signals a philosophical shift. Iraq will determine the dinar's destiny autonomously, unwinding decades of foreign influence. Achieving this required navigating delicate diplomatic negotiations with the IMF, strategic trade leverage with regional partners, and investment restructuring with global powers, embodying a precise balance of cooperation and national sovereignty. The new architecture accelerates the world's shift toward digital currency frameworks by introducing a hybrid system, physical notes for a transitional period, alongside a blockchain-enabled digital dinar E-IQD for cross-border settlement. This structure is intended to drastically reduce the risk of counterfeiting, black market manipulation, currency flight, and rapid inflation. Perhaps the most seismic change is Iraq's plan to pilot oil contracts denominated in the digital dinar, a single decision that, if pursued, would fundamentally rewire pricing models across OPEC and Asia's energy corridors. Global reactions are mixed but intense. U.S. institutions face an internal dilemma, supporting Iraq's monetary autonomy while avoiding destabilization of bond markets and maintaining the dominance of the petrodollar. European banks view Iraq's digital architecture as a potential test case for their own cross-border compliance, while BRICS-aligned economies see Iraq as a natural partner in new multipolar settlement models, accelerating digital trade initiatives. The Gulf states are also exploring oil settlement diversification to hedge against future disruptions, anticipated by a digitally integrated Iraq. The first week after the speculative activation window provides a narrative chronicle of intense structured activity. On day one, the quiet surge begins. The first biometric verification completes successfully in Houston, followed by a steady, orderly flow of applicants across appointment centers nationwide. On day two, the ripple expands to include Tier 3 participants, long-term holders with meticulous documentation, moving through a highly structured 5-stage protocol, with officers insisting on non-disclosure regarding any adjusted rate selections, only heightening global speculation. By day 3, whispers intensify that the digital dinar is live on select interbank settlement rails, with reports of adjusted valuations for fully documented holders, while Asian markets react with unusual trading volumes in foreign exchange derivatives. Day 5 brings the arrival of the IMF auditing team in Baghdad, a moment that ignites a new cycle of global media debate, with insiders claiming the auditors are impressed by the biometric and digital tracking systems. The Gazette's emphasis on preparation is proving critical. The threshold moment arrives on day 6, where the division between prepared and unprepared holders becomes apparent. Those with organized receipts, notarized affidavits, and digital backups move swiftly, while others face delays. A credible leak suggests the CBI's internal rate syncs perfectly with institutional placeholder valuations, sparking a global wave of speculative analysis. On day 7, Iraq's prime minister issues a short televised address, confirming the successful launch of the nation's sovereign digital currency era, sending an unmistakable message of operational readiness. The new mandate for all holders is clear. Success in this new system is predicated entirely on preparation and precision. The Gazette's message is unambiguous. All participants must operate with meticulous documentation and strategic planning. Essential requirements for all include receipts from recognized dealers, detailed serial number logs, official government proof of residence, and notarized affidavits for long-held notes, all backed up by redundant digital systems. Iraq has completed its re-entry into the global monetary system, and the world now begins its strategic adjustment to the reality of the new dinar era.